everyone, it's What a Music Geek again, and let me tell you, I am sad. I am. You know why? I am wearing purple right now, my festive purple for the Ravens, because the Ravens are playing the Steelers right now, and they are losing! They are losing terribly, 16-20. It's terrible. And I feel awful that they're losing to the stupid Squealers. Those Steelers, Pittsburgh Steelers, hate them. I think just about everybody except the people in Pittsburgh hate the Steelers, especially those Green Bay Packers who won the Super Bowl last year. And I'm also mourning for Fall Out Boy because I found out that Pete Wentz just started a new electronica band called the Black Cards. That literally makes me want to die. It makes me want to choke because I just feel terrible about that. That is my favorite band. They are my favorite band. I went to see them at Merriweather, and unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to see them perform. I didn't get a chance to see them up close and personal and actually get their autographs. I wanted to meet Patrick Stump since forever, since I was 16 years old and I first heard Sugar We're Going Down on the radio. I wanted to meet him. He is such a genius. But no matter. They're going to be, I feel like Fall Out Boy is not going to get back together, especially since Wikipedia said that they are on indefinite hiatus. That sucks. But on the bright side, I am reading Steampunk, especially since my last webisode where I was actually dressed up in steampunk regalia. I absolutely love doing that. And I met this guy who was also wearing steampunk stuff, like a little stovepipe hat with goggles and a twisty thing on his hat. And he was also wearing a leather jacket. Super cool. And he was also talking about steampunk vehicles and how much he loved my costume. I actually got some compliments on my costume Halloween night last week. Or was it? Yeah, it was last week. And I just decided maybe I should start reading steampunk. And I also got this I also got this great idea for a steampunk story called Cynthia and the Mask. Maybe I'll talk a little bit about it, but I'm not going to. You know what? I'm not going to, because I don't want anybody to get any ideas and steal my ideas. So anyway, here are some books that I'm reading right now that you may be interested as well. So here we go. My steampunk books. There are 3 of them. First up is Incarceron. I know this is a pretty big book. By Catherine Fisher, a very nice English lady. A lot of English people have written steampunk, like H.G. Wells and Sir Arthur Conan Doyle and Jules Verne. Jules Verne, fully awesome. Although I don't think Sir Arthur Conan Doyle was steampunk. He was more into the detective stuff. Sherlock Holmes. But yeah, H.G. Wells, Jules Verne kind of thing. Incarceron is actually a real, honest-to-God fiction story that doesn't use any historical things at all. It just uses the story of a young boy named Finn, who is the inmate, one of the many inmates of a living, breathing prison. No one goes in, no one goes out. Everyone is born in a prison inside Incarceron, very much like the Matrix. And Finn believes that he was born outside of Incarceron. He believes he came from outside and he is now living in it. He just doesn't remember who he is or even where he came from. And of course, all the other inmates, they don't believe him. Then he finds a key that looks like this, just like the one on the cover. And he eventually unlocks a door to the outside, and he meets Claudia, who is forced to marry some jerk, and she decides to help him escape. It's an engrossing read. My best friend, Carenza, who is, I believe, Can Wench. If you find her username, her name is Can Wench on YouTube. She has been trying to get me to read this book, and now I'm reading it, and I'm up to chapter 10. It's hard to put the book down. I absolutely love it. The other two books that I'm reading are Burton and Swinburne's The Strange Affair of Spring-Heeled Jack and Felix Palma's Map of Time. This is actually bigger than the other two books put together. It's about 600 pages. I hope I can get through it, especially since I've read the first 4 chapters of this thing, and it's actually hard to put this one down. So, both stories take place in the time of Jack the Ripper and Queen Victoria. They use real, and like most steampunk, from what I hear, they use real people in a fictitious story, but they have different writing styles and different plots. The Burton and Swinburne has an omniscient voice, and it's actually a tale very similar to that of Sherlock Holmes. It's a tale of these two people, a soldier and a professor named Burton, and a poet named Swinburne. And they're trying to catch this spring-heeled Jack that has been assaulting women, and they also are trying to find out if it's linked to the reason why there are werewolves in London's East End. And so far, I haven't read much of it, but I got a little confused with some of it, of what was going on or whatever. But it feels like there are flashbacks, and there's some actually interesting backstories of both Burton and Swinburne, especially with Burton being an explorer into Africa. And there's also the, what was it? Dr. Livingstone, I presume. Livingstone is in this book. And it's actually pretty interesting, and I'm kind of getting into it. The other one, Map of Time, is actually an easier and fun read that involves a time machine, just like the H.G. Wells story of a time machine. And there are several authors that are mentioned in this book, a whore, and a mysterious killer similar to that of Jack the Ripper. And this book is really, really amusing, especially for when the main character, Andrew, falls in love with a whore named Marie. And she says, "But first I'll have to turn out my good-for-nothing husband. He doesn't like me bringing work home." Ouch. It's hilarious. It's a wonderful read. It's engrossing. The author kind of puts himself in the story and takes himself out sometimes, but it's beautiful. I like this book a lot. But I definitely have to recommend Incarceron first. It kind of gets you into steampunk, especially if you're a teenager, because I found Incarceron in the teen section, if you don't know. And it's also a part of a series, because there's a second book called Safik. But read Incarceron first. This is an incredible read. You will not be able to put this thing down. It's amazing. I really like it. So, make sure you check out those books. Start reading. Till then, I will rock on with you later. Bye. Go Ravens! Beat them Steelers! Or beat some other team. I don't care. Find some other team and beat them. Steelers suck. Rock on.